Odd. After everything you've been through, my name gives you pause. I gazed up at the night sky, willing myself to sleep. Shah's embrace eluded me. I couldn't stop thinking of her sacred mission. Protect the box, find the contact in Baldur's Gate, fulfill Shah's command. I heard only my own thoughts. Shah's presence did not come to me. Why? I had fulfilled her will. I had retrieved the relic for her. Everyone had perished but me. Me and my parasite. I was tainted, damaged, imperfect. I had to rid myself of the tadpole. Then Shah would come to me, honor me as I honor her. Only the sounds of the wilderness answered.
Come on, dig! Faster! Get her out of there! Don't die! Don't die! Don't die!
The person they were trying to save. It was the creature from the ship. Still alive, but wounded. My voice cut through the fog of confusion. I felt the creature's hold on them wavering. As its influence waned, they clutched their heads, blinking in confusion. I approached the dying monster. This was the thing that had abducted me. I felt compassion. Compassion? I couldn't move, couldn't think. Thinking was mercifully done for me. It would be a joy to serve it, dying an honor. It was possessing my mind, forcing me to love it. But then the feeling slipped. The creature's mind seemed to focus elsewhere. I tried to break through, but its mind was impenetrable. With a last surge of defiance, it slapped my efforts away. The monster lay exhausted, defeated. Its eyes, wet black pearls, radiated only malice.
Oh, a guest.
My skull pounded in response to the prisoner's white-hot stare. Her lips didn't move, yet I heard her voice.
You again. Get rid of them.
Right. Lead the goblins here, then leave the rest of us to fight them off, you coward!
What's it gonna take to shut you up, Horns?
I noticed the armored man twitch. He was about to erupt. I stumbled.
I can't do it.
Of course you can. It just takes time. I didn't become the Blade of Frontiers overnight.
The man's mouth bent downward as he turned, and his thoughts became mine. An unknown face commanded my mind. Rust-red skin, gnarled horns, and then I was myself once more.
I'll be damned to the hells. You were on the ship.
A strange sensation courses through you, and Wyll's mind unfolds, secrets half revealed.
The creature appeared again. Red skin, twisting horns, and wings stretching wide behind it. Our minds parted again, leaving my skull throbbing.
Ouch! Careful you don't push the brain bugs too far. They'll leave you hurting.
The child stared past me as if I wasn't there. The child continued staring past me. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw the child move through the rocks. found the edges of a concealed entrance. No trigger or handle, though. No way to open it. His eyes flicked to mine for an instant, then away, as if it hurt to look at me. Realization dawned. He was describing how to open something. A door? The child reached into the rocks behind him and opened a well-concealed hatch. The rat hesitated just a moment before scurrying over to me. Chittering, he opened his mouth. One of his teeth was badly chipped. The rat paused for a moment, then squeaked loudly. It skittered away, stopped, and looked back. It beckoned me with a nod of its head, and then it was off.
Leave!
I noted her grimace of pain. I realized there was something wrong with her legs.
Damn it! Don't look at me like that.
All right. I guess being fearless won't help if an arrow comes flying right at me. Here.
My foot. It moved! Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
The rat gestured angrily towards the chest, chittering angrily. It bit down on nothing, but winced all the same. His dark eyes stared at me, waiting for this danger to be banished. The rat sniffed the chest, then leapt in, tail twitching gratefully.
Just a moment. This man is recording my story. I am far from home.
The colourful man yelped in delight and started scribbling. With a shaggy grin, the bear sneaked a look at the page. His brow furrowed. Incomprehensible squiggles surrounded a crude sketch. A bear disemboweling a clutch of tieflings.
Come on. All the druids can understand me. You can. Why can't the man with the pen? I traveled a long way.
The man nodded thoughtfully and added another dismembered limb to his sketch. The forest rose with claw and tooth to tear the darkness from its roots. The mural showed druid and beast fighting together to drive monsters from their land. It looked like quite a battle. And yet the monsters had returned. By waters still, 'neath watching trees, a hallowed place for Mother Peace. The scene showed druids blessing the grove for Mother Peace, a term for the blessed goddess Eldath. In darkest hour, a concord made, twixt harp and wild against the shade. Harp and wild? I recalled stories of an alliance between druids and the harpers. Could this have been it? The towers seized, the battle done. The moonrise broke the darkest one. I saw vanquished foes heaped at the druid's feet. The fallen bore Shah's sacred symbol on their armor and banners. The inscription spoke of moonrise, a reference to vile Selûne, no doubt. She and her druid allies bloodied Shah's forces. But Shah persists. She thrives. The fresco showed some druids blessing a damp cave, a weak ritual for a weak goddess. I glowered at the fresco. Moonrise. A disgusting tribute to Selûne's past glories. Selûne, Our Lady of Silver. Selûne, Mother of Tides. Jurgle. I didn't think anyone worshipped the Scribe of the Dead. Selûne, the Night White Lady. Here rests Moon Mistress Larina, founder of Selûnite settlements along the Chiontha. That might be worth a look. At the back of the crevice lay a bag covered with spiders, a shiny gold coin poked from its mouth. The creatures clutched the pouch possessively. Was gold so precious to spiders? The spiders scattered and I stashed the bag. Something clinked among the coin. A cluster of spiders scuttled inside the crevice. The infuriated spiders crossed my hand and scaled my arm. The swarm was coming. This crevice was empty, save a bit of dust.
Get to be one of those, and I'll spill the whole jug. You get that, right? Spill the whole jug? I guess I'll toss that one in the heap.
Tiny grooves spidered across the eye's surface. It resembled a sending stone, used to confer with distant contacts.
A what now? Goodness, but it's just a bit of rock. Nothing so special, I assure you.
His breathing quickened, his jaw tensed. This legend was keeping something from me.
You had one too, didn't you? What did you see? Huh. You enjoyed it? Obviously. I had the same dream, of course. Very... enticing.
The blank look, the flat voice. He was holding something back.
I dreamt of him. My old master. Cazador. It was not. We don't need to talk about it.
I tried to connect, to let him know he wasn't alone, but he twisted like a snake.
No. I don't need your pity. I don't need anything from you. Go back to your wet dreams and leave me be.
The injured man locked eyes with me. I felt a familiar squirming in my head. My limbs did not obey. Our minds intertwined. I saw his siblings, Andric and Brynna, new recruits, mine to shepherd. The man was now dead, but then I noticed a squirming movement under his features. A glistening tadpole emerged, slithering up past a sightless eyeball. The very same as the vile little creature lurking within me. I grasped it between my fingers. One squeeze and it would be no more. How could I even think of harming something so beautiful, so pure? I willed myself to crush the life out of the tadpole. But I couldn't do it. The creature was too precious, too beautiful. I closed my fist as tight as possible. Suddenly I felt the most intense sorrow and regret. The cruel, beaked face of an owlbear loomed out of the darkness. Its one good eye flicked away for a moment. I followed its glance and saw an owlbear cub. The owlbear stared, then sharply inhaled my scent. It shuffled back, eyes still fixed on me, a silent ultimatum. I could leave now, or step closer and die. The cub looked from me to his dead mother and let out a plaintive cry. He stood still and chirped sadly. A single blow would end his suffering. Then he let out a feral little squawk and started eating her. I backed away, speechless. Apart from an overgrowth of moss, the well looked unremarkable. Dry stones lined the wall. At the bottom, something gleamed in the dappled light. As the coin disappeared into the well, I heard a soft clink, not a splash.
Speak your name.
I did my best to wipe the dirt from my face and look presentable. Adventuring was murder on one's wardrobe, though.
Only a true ally of Ilintoth may pass. What think you of the Zolkir known as Zastam?
I remembered stories of Zastam, a powerful lich in Thay who made deals with dark gods.
You are no Zolkir, but are you wise? You are not my master. If you are his ally, step forward and declare it.
There was a pause as those glass eyes took me in. Then the book was locked tight with no keyhole. There was only an angular recess in the cover. Brushing away the dirt of time, I could make out the name etched into the cover. The Necromancy of Thay. I could feel the book's pull. I could feel its power. My lips moved, speaking a language I didn't understand, and something was trying to reply. The symbols darted beneath my eyes, warping and twisting. My head throbbed, but I almost understood. The world around me was gone. I could only see those glyphs, only hear those voices. The glyphs screamed, searing my mind. I saw time rewritten, fate undone. I struggled to cling to scraps of what I knew. Powerful necromancy, I was certain, but it darted away, leaving only hell's screams. The book snapped closed. I had seen too much. Not that I understood what it meant. Now I need to add a greatsword, sickle, or a dagger. The roaring furnace awaited an offering. A candy-sweet scent wafted forth. The Sussur bark infused the weapon from within the flames. The flames sputtered away. The dagger was mine for the taking.
You there! Please, I don't know what's come over these boys. I just want to go home.
The old woman's face creased with false concern. I realized she had lied about seeing this girl, Mayrina.
Stop this! We won't ask again!
I felt crushing waves of fear as the presence within the door recoiled. It couldn't let people through, not again. Images flashed. A man cowered, a bag open at his feet. Gold coins spilled onto the floor. His cries for mercy were cut short as the hag sliced into him, removing limb by painstaking limb. She cackled. The man's remaining flesh twisted and contorted, becoming the smooth wooden surface of the door before me. Flee, I felt it cry. A scene flashed. 2 paladins and a cleric marching through the door, shrouded in the glow of the divine. Weapons brandished, they charged the hag's lair. Screams of terror pierced the air. The door shuddered but stood firm. I saw the hag. She walked through the door, its form shimmering. The lightest touch of hope brushed my mind as the presence within retreated. As I edged closer to the mirror, a pale face appeared, contorted in fear. Fists slammed against the mirror's surface again and again.
I was on death's door, but now I feel great. How?
I explained that not only was the disease gone, it had left no scars, an impossibility for the bite.
What? But that doesn't make a lick of sense!
A great taut drum sat before me. One strike would likely ring for miles, alerting goblin reinforcements. From the far distance, I heard a blast of goblin voices.
A fine talent with the drum. You do well on a slave ship.
The drum lay before me. If they hadn't heard me before, they certainly did now.
You better learn your place. Go on. Kiss my foot. Or I'll wipe that nasty look right off your pretty face. That's more like it.
As my lips touched the filthy flesh, I caught a whiff of lavender? The kiss stretched on while I carefully slid off the ring.
You enjoying that?
Ah, I'll show you how it's done. A toast to our victory! There you!
I raised my glass and shouted. The goblins blinked at me in confusion.
Go on, drink up!
The poison burned my throat, but the goblins followed my lead.
Now get out of our way, I need another drink.
Maybe you don't need it. After all, you're special, ain't you? Like me.
I felt her probing my mind, and our thoughts became entangled. A familiar sensation. She too carried a parasite. Our minds brushed against one another, but were swiftly parted.
Don't want to get intimate in front of the novices. Fair enough. Don't want anyone peeping on private matters, so... There we go. Secret and safe. Well, secret.
Psionic feelers crept across my mind, like a pickpocket's fingers seeking flaws in fabric.
It's all slippery in there. What are you hiding? This ain't right. Why are you resisting me if you're one with the Absolute?
I repelled her mental probes, concealing my memories.
There's something wicked burrowed in your brain. I can't get a grip on it. Best start praying for help.
I'm not here for you. I'm here for the woman.
I know you took her. Where is she? Where is Mizora?
My mind was one with Wyll's. A blood-red creature consumed my vision, the same I had seen when we had first met. Wyll flushed with emotion, desire, grief, guilt, and desperation.
That Mazora lass, a friend of yours, Blade? Smells funny when you burn her. Screams real good, too. Tell you what, pussycat, make this rat squeal, and I'll take you right to her.
You want me to torture him? Forget it!
Then forget your precious lady mate, and slink out of here!
No, please!
I became one with Wyll. Shame gripped him as he considered the tools at his disposal. Wyll paused, then took a hot poker and held it against the man's leg. The prisoner howled, and the stench of charred flesh filled the room.
Stop! Please! Please! Stop this!
Wyll responded by grabbing the tongs and yanking the nail from the prisoner's thumb.
Please, please. We... to the east. Past the ruins, and the bridge. They covered the gate with ivy.
The grove? No!
His eyes rolled back as he slumped forward.
Praise his ever-bleeding axe. Praise his throne of flaming iron. Praise Muglubiet.
I knew of Muglubiet, deity of the goblinoids, hungry for blood and conquest.
Trying to interrupt my prayers?
Greetings, child. I've met few aside from goblins here.
I recognized the scourge. This man was a follower of Leviatha, goddess of pain.
Ah, are you also here to assist with the prisoner?
A glassy black surface reflecting my gaze back at me. As I gazed deeper, I felt a focus, an intent. A brief, lurching connection. The sensation of falling into my own image endlessly. Confusion, alarm, and then the presence withdrew, leaving a dull black mirror once more.
Silence now, creature, or I will silence you forever.
As she turned to me, her thoughts mingled with mine, a cold hand caressing my brain.
A true soul in such a grotesque form. The Absolute has a place in her heart even for Dothier. Her heart is more generous than mine. Join my hunt, fairy, and obey me. Interesting. What do you know of this druid? Perfect. This grove is the place I am seeking. Show me where it is, and we will destroy it together.
Hells! I'd pointed her right at the tieflings. I needed a plan, and quick.
My patience wears thin, true soul. The hunt must begin. Show me the grove. Be my eyes.
Her mind entered mine, a splinter of ice piercing my memories. Images of the battle at the gate shimmered into view, along with the adventurers pleading to be let inside.
Already turned quite the profit today, so I'm feeling generous.
With a jolt, I recognized the crest she bore, the winged serpent of the Zhentarim.
Half right, sharp eyes. A Zen is a normal trader. Just a matter of what's for sale.
Sugan al Shukok, o Tashokek Dor! I command you, corpse. Speak. Reveal truth to the Absolute! Nothing. Must be reading it wrong. Sugan al Shukok!
The hobgoblin turned to me, and the parasite squirmed in my skull. I tasted the ale on his tongue and the bile in his soul.
If it isn't another true soul.
He didn't speak his next words, yet they still rattled my skull from within.
You ever talk to a dead squid? Now's your chance. Damn right. I'm gonna make this carcass talk. Absolute wants to know who killed the squiddy and ran off from that ship. And who better to tell us than the corpse? Then take it. Absolute knows I'm not getting anywhere.
He handed me the scroll, and I read the words aloud. The hideous corpse rose, tentacles writhing. Raxlin frowned in confusion at a question he would never have asked. Then the creature spoke in visions. Curved drow blades, crude goblin torches, gnoll teeth dripping blood. I saw other Mindflayers arranged in a serene circle. Absolute unity. Absolute power.
Damn it! That tells me nothing!
I felt Raxlin's suspicions. A true soul should never ask about the Master. Again, visions flowed through me. A swarm of Githyanki dragon riders, silver blades held high, control panels melting, flesh pods spilled open.
Gith on the hunt. They know something.
Suspicion flooded Raxlin's mind. My brain howled as I considered my final question. Again, a vision came to me. A memory, seen through the creature's soul-dead eyes. I saw a clawed hand open a holding pod. Darkness cleared to reveal a face. Mine.
That can't be. You're no true soul.
My parasite resisted, flailing as I crawled into Raxlin's mind murk. Rage slithered through him, hot and black. It squeezed me, suffocated me.
Boys, crush the heretic!
It's not too deep. Just behind the orbital socket. I could attempt an extraction. I've a needle in my tunic, after all. I assure you, I've dreamt of it 1,000 times over.
Volo carefully held one of my eyes open and began to prod uncertainly with the needle. The needle found the gap between eyeball and socket. Volo frowned and began to push. Pain shot through my body as the needle snagged on my optic nerve.
I think I have it!
The needle seesawed back and forth, plucking the nerve like a harp string.
Oh, bother. There's some obstacle in the way. I shall need a more robust implement.
Volo carefully withdrew the needle from my eye. Then, reaching into his bag, he produced an ice pick. Volo slowly brought the ice pick closer to my eye.
Now, don't move.
Cold metal pressed against the skin beneath my brow, and then... tap, tap, stab.
Do you feel that? Ha! I think we have the blighter on the run. I agree. It's a feisty critter. Just a little further.
Volo tore the pick from my brain with a violent jerk. My eye plopped to the ground.
Drat.
He paused, looked down at my eye as it sank into the mud, and recoiled slightly. The beast reeked of brimstone and offal. Every breath was thick with blood. I heard what came next before I saw it. The sharp snapping of bones and a yelp of pain as her body started to twist and undulate. I watched with cold realization. This was the end of one life, but the start of another. Gnolls, vicious, monstrous humanoids, could spawn from the corpses of dying hyenas. Her belly split like a rotten fruit, birthing a frenzy of claws and fangs. With a shock of psychic pain, the pack leader's mind clamped onto mine. I saw myself through her eyes, a pulsing red cluster of organs. Feast. No, the voice had forbidden this meat. Gnolls saw our whole world as a meal. I realized this voice was acting as a leash, but it wouldn't hold them for long. A memory. The beast daubed the symbol of the Absolute on a cave wall in blood. Buried deep, a tadpole struggled to assert control against the ravenous chaos of her mind. I saw drow and goblins restraining her, a Mindflayer reaching out. And then the voice, ringing order. Eating this meat was forbidden, but it would lead her to a feast. In the cave, anxious hearts throbbing, ready to burst, ready to gorge on. The voice said they were meat. The meat was trapped, terrified, but protected by fire. When the fire died, so would the meat.
The whole reason we're in this mess. Trinkets for some rich tosser in Baldur's Gate. He gets his shiny baubles. We get a handful of Terenths.
I knew Terents were the currency of Zhentarim, a network of merchants and mercenaries with few scruples.
You know who we are. Very clever.
A genuine pleasure. I'm in your debt, as is my patron. My betrothed, I should say. Assuming Lady Janeth still wishes to marry me after our little, falling out.
I recalled a recent scandal. A patriarch of Baldur's Gate who'd wished to marry a commoner.
I did not run away. A date was never set. There were complications.
Now, we seek a weapon taken from a vessel that fell from the sky. Understand, Istik? Help us find it, and I will leave your blood beneath your skin unspilled. Oh, you saw something, did you? Let us see exactly what these bandits took.
He began to move his hand in a quick flurry of gestures. I realized he was casting Detect Thoughts.
Nothing even approaching a useful thought in that skull. I ought to just kill you.
Flesh Stalker, I show you a memory. Watch and listen.
A violent vision gripped me. Duergar, dark dwarves, chopping Myconid remains.
They broke our peace. They killed our young.
The Sovereign's song slowed to the pace of a dirge. It was still in mourning.
We laid waste to many, but intruders remain. Lakewood.
The Sovereign's song halted as it measured my worth.
I sense your resolve. You will find Duergar invaders near Lake's edge. Cleanse the rot. Destroy them.
Duergar killed their children. The blade must avenge them.
Deep purples swirled into familiar shapes. Gnomes in mining gear chased by Duergar.
The Duergar seek a gnome. It is a guest.
An illusion came over me. A Duergar choking on a cloud of gleaming dust.
I can spare you no warrior. Too many were lost. But accept this gift. It will help you exterminate.
The Sovereign gifted me a vision. A stone door creaking open to reveal glowing light.
Riches of magic and mind, cleanse the rot, and they are yours. You do the circle a service. We will await word.
It replied with an echoing screech and a vision of a limp youngling.
Reach into memory. Tell me of home.
It shivered in resonance with my remembered pain and revealed its own. A humid cove filled with decaying Myconid corpses.
Dwegar destroyed my people. No. I feel the fair's rest fading. I cannot leave the Underdark.
The Fezres was the energy of the Underdark. The Myconid might die if isolated from it. It greeted me with a harrowing elegy, cheerless as the new moon. The music shifted, still melancholic, but now streaked with hope.
Do you hear? A new harmony. Serenity.
Ah, a visitor. You're a welcome sight. But let us observe the customs of the locals.
The scholar's brow tensed. His voice spilled into my skull as the spores connected our minds.
Blurg, proud member of the Society of Brilliance, at your service. Or perhaps not. Your mind is far more complex than the fungi.
If that settles matters for the time being, would you like the diagnosis? Open your mind to me. Let us see what lurks within.
The moment Omeluum's mind pierced mine, the tadpole pulsed with power. It felt 10 times its size, alive, awake, almost smug.
You're still glowing from battle. On my honor, you've never looked more beautiful.
I smelled ale and smoke as Wyll leaned in. His lips were but inches from mine.
May I?
And then an ache gripped my head. I saw a flash. Bronze hair, pale skin, and it was gone.
Pardon, just a bit woozy. Now, where were we?
When the image came, the pain was sharper than before, like a Mindflayer scraping its claws across my skull. This time, I saw a full face. A woman, skin pale as the moon, lips impossibly pink. But then she changed. Pale skin turned to red, horns pushed through her hair. Her smile cut through my desire like a blade.
Damn it! Must she ruin everything? I'm sorry. It's not supposed to be this way. Please, show me how.
Wyll had slept next to me. He was still there when my eyes opened.
You're more beautiful now, if you can believe it. You flatter me, friend. Surely a mere trick of the light. Yes, but also no. I've no proper word for what you are to me. I've never tasted fruit so tender as yours. But Missoura's eyes will stray only so long. Only a free man can give himself fully. Until my pact is broken, I'm never free. You're a blessing. I hardly deserve you. Come now, let's hurry it up. Legends don't write themselves.
A flimsy raft wobbled on the lake's murky waters. As I neared the rubble, a fragmented voice clutched at my mind.
A true soul. This is near. Tell those imbeciles to hurry up. I am choking on poison. Finally. My sergeant is dead, I see.
Nir's eyes snapped from the corpses to me. His mind was a cold claw in my head, digging for memories. I saw the drow cursing at the fallen rocks, then carving through the deep gnomes in his rage.
My. You have as much finesse as a rabid Rothe, in both fighting and matters of the mind. Still, I cannot argue with the results. You will make an adequate replacement. These defective slaves caused the cave-in. Eliminate them. That is not an option.
He grasped my mind and pried it open. Rage flooded my senses. I had to kill. Tear the gnomes apart, laugh as their blood showered me and filled me with life. I felt my blood boil. There was no fighting this torrent of emotion.
You are effective, if somewhat hard to tame. Still, the Absolute is not without his rewards. Give me your hand.
His presence still lingered in my mind, softly urging me on.
Insolent whelp! Defiance will only make this worse!
His eyes didn't open, but his lips parted with a rasping wheeze.
Guiding my cart. Shadowfell. Not from your cursed god.
The spell's power waned. I could ask no more questions. The tiefling's corpse stirred with the spell. I realized the tiefling's body had been torn open by huge hands.
Ogres, hungry, bloodied, screams.
The tiefling could no longer speak. Draw Ragslin's body lurched to life.
Absolute binds obedience.
The magic waned. I could ask no more questions.